Hey, what's up people? Welcome back to Games and You. This is the first ever episode of Solo Sundays. Solo Sundays is going to be a new weekly show on Games and You that's going to be uploaded every single Sunday, of course. Also, it's only going to have one commentator, which is going to be myself, Myles. Usually on Games and You, we have co-op commentary with Mateo and I. However, for Solo Sundays, it's just going to be me, and it's going to be just once a week. So the first game that I decided to play for Solo Sundays is going to be Pokemon Fire Red version. However, it's not going to be a normal playthrough. This is going to be a Nuzlocke playthrough. If you do not know what a Nuzlocke is, I'm going to be explaining all of the rules, plus any additional rules that I'm going to be limiting myself by, just to make the game a little bit harder. Also, don't expect this playthrough to be a story-driven playthrough or a playthrough where I go over basic stuff, because I know pretty much this game like the back of my hand. I've played through probably this generation of games, I don't know, around 50 times, you have red, you have blue, you have yellow, you have fire red, leaf green, so this is not going to be a tutorial-like playthrough. However, this is going to be a kind of, I guess a guide through the Nuzlocke, because I've actually beaten this game's Nuzlocke before. I beat the leaf green version, so this game is going to be Fire Red, which has very little differences, except for some different Pokemon that you can catch on certain routes, but that doesn't drastically change the game whatsoever. Anyway, I'm going to be naming my rival Mateo, just to kind of poke fun at him for not being here. I hope you see this, because I hope you're watching our shit. But anyway, let's get into this, the rules of the Nuzlocke. Most Nuzlockes will abide by 3 base Nuzlocke rules. These rules being, number 1, you must nickname all Pokemon. Number 2, you may only catch the first Pokemon you find in each area or route. And number 3, that if a Pokemon faints, it is considered dead and has to be released or put into the PC in some kind of graveyard box. Now for my playthrough, I'm going to be releasing fainted Pokemon. Along with these rules, I also have about, I think it's 4 or 5 additional rules. These rules all pretty much make the game more difficult or more RNG dependent. However, one of them, I guess, can be considered a rule to make the game easier, but not by much at all. Also, I'm just kind of doing basic story stuff right now, not really dwelling on it like I said. But anyway, these additional rules are, I think the most important one is the level limit. The level limit rule means that I cannot have my Pokemon's levels surpass the next gym leader, or the champion in this game. So basically right now, the current level cap for this early in the game is level 14. That's the first gym leader's highest leveled Pokemon. If one of my Pokemon were to surpass 14, like let's say it hits 15 before I fight the gym leader, then I can put it into the PC until the level cap is raised, or I guess until I wipe out enough and the run's over, whichever comes first. So yeah, the first cap is 14, and I have I guess a sidebar kind of frame around this that I've made, so you guys will be able to keep track of the level limit and other stats around. The second rule that I guess I should go over right now, because it's going to be important, is my starter. My starter is going to be chosen by the first number in my trainer ID. This number can be 0 through 9, and if it's a 1 through 3, I'll choose Bulbasaur. If it's a 4 through 6, I'll choose Charmander. If it's 7 through 9, I'll choose Squirtle, and if it's a 0, then I'll choose myself. So let's see what we got. And, great. Okay, so we got a 4. 4 means Charmander. Oh, never mind, I just found Squirtle on accident. I think this one's Charmander. Okay, yeah, there we go. Now, Charmander is a fan favorite, of course. Everyone loves Charizard, everyone knows Charizard. He's in 2 of the Smash games. He's great, everyone loves Charmander. However, he's very difficult for this run, and I'll explain why in a second. I guess I should just name him real quick. I'm just gonna give them random names because I don't want to wait for half an hour. I'm trying to think of a clever one, so yeah, I guess we'll just go with Noodle for no reason. But anyway, Charmander is very difficult for this run, even though he's highly loved inside the Pokemon community. Charmander has a weakness to many of the gyms, the first two being probably the most striking in the playthrough because there's not much that you can get to counteract the gyms. Bulbasaur, however, is kind of the opposite of this. Bulbasaur is very strong against the first two gyms, even the third one. Has very good matchups, is very defensive, which in a Nuzlocke playthrough you kind of want a more defensive, hard-hitting Pokemon rather than a fast Pokemon. Because if your Pokemon faints, then it's dead and you have to get rid of it. So a Pokemon that's the least defensive starter and that has weaknesses to the first couple gyms is not going to be the greatest thing. We're going to have to depend on RNG pretty heavily to help us get through definitely the first gym and probably the second as well. Now of course Charmander is a fire type. Fire type is a pretty rare type, but it's not the most helpful because fire type and flying type share a lot of the same offensive coverage, and there's not even any steel types in this game besides the Magneton family, so that doesn't really help out that much either. We won the first battle against Mateo just because you just have to spam attack basically. We did get that potion from our PC earlier, meaning that if you do get hit by a crit or your health drops a little bit low and you don't want to risk it, you can go ahead and use that, but we didn't have to. So that's cool. Like I was talking about RNG earlier, the first gym leader is Brock, of course, the rock gym leader, and there's not many Pokemon there. I think there's only one Pokemon, which is Mankey, that you can even get before the gym that actually hits him for super effective damage. Mankey's a fighting type that you can find on one route. It's not a terrible encounter, but it's not the best. And I keep trying to pull up the nature of this thing. A brave nature. Okay, I think that boosts attack and lower speed, but I'm not completely sure. That's not terrible. There's not many bad natures, I guess, for Charmander inside a Nuzlocke playthrough. Just because he can do so much. But yeah. Natures, if you did not know, will raise a stat by 10% and lower another stat by 10%. Or they'll just do nothing. Like, they'll just be a flat nature. I think Brave will raise our attack by 10%, which is fine because eventually, hopefully, our Charmander will become a part flying type, which would be pretty sweet, and in this gen, flying is physical always. But we'll talk more about that later, because we should get back to the rules. Now, I've ran into that Pidgey right there, but the encounters haven't started yet until I get my Pokeballs, which will happen in just a little bit. We just have to do a little quick side quest for Professor Oak real quick until we can get those. But yeah, let's get back to the other rules. Probably one of the more popular rules in any Nuzlocke ever is the Dupes Clause. Dupes Clause, basically, it's there to stop you from catching like 9,000 Rattata or 9,000 Pidgey. Every single route has a lot of like the same shitty Pokemon on every single different route or every single different cave. So Dupes Clause is going to be here to like kind of stop that. However, I'm running like this kind of different Dupes Clause where I can never catch a duplicate. Meaning that once I catch my first Pidgey or my first Rattata on this first route, I can't catch one ever again. I'm also going to be putting on a counter of 5 to the dupes limit, meaning that if I'm like having a dupes run and I bump into 5 Pokemon that I've already caught, then I just lose the route. Because later on, you can kind of abuse Dupes Clause if you let yourself have unlimited runs, and you catch like a Magikarp, and then you can like force yourself to be able to get something cool. So we're going to say none of that, and we're just going to have a 5 limit, which can help us in certain circumstances and then hurt us. Like if we catch a Mankey, and we want to catch one later, and we can't get it. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, that's a Dupes Clause. Another rule is only one gift or field Pokemon. Not many people actually use this rule, from what I see online, which I think is kind of surprising, because I don't like using gift or fields. In a Nuzlocke, I feel like a lot of it's dependent on random number generation. Meaning that when I bump into a new route, what I get is just whatever the computer gives me. Gift or field Pokemon are stuff like Eevee or Snorlax, where you're going to encounter it 100% of the time if you go to that spot. So I'm limiting myself to only being able to catch one gift or field Pokemon. Meaning that Pokemon like Eevee, Snorlax, Lapras, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Amistar, Kabutops, Aerodactyl, the Marowak, which I don't think you can actually catch unless you use a glitch, and then the Hypno on the island. There might be more than that. I just put those ones down because that's all I could think of, but I think that might cover most of them. But yeah, I can only catch one of those on the list. The next rule is the shiny rule. If I run to a shiny, I'm gonna catch it. If it does die though, then I will release it, but the chances of catching a shiny in this game are 1 in 8,192. So if I bump into that, that'll be crazy lucky and I'll probably flip out. But I think that's actually our last rule. I do have some extra stuff I want to talk about, just pertaining to certain rules with the Nuzlocke. One of them is no legendaries. I'm not going to be catching any of the legendary birds. I might catch Mewtwo after, or just at least fight him. But the run really ends at the champion of this region. I can also keep going after I white out. Like, let's say I have 6 Pokemon in my party before Brock, and then I have a Rattata in my PC, and I white out against him. All my Pokemon faint in a battle. Then I cannot... Like, all those Pokemon that I had do get released, and I can only move on with that one Rattata that was in the PC. So anytime that I white out, the entire party is dead, but I can keep going. And I will keep going for the sake of this playthrough. But anyway, this is our first encounter of the run that we can actually catch. It's a level 3 female Rattata. Hopefully we do not crit and kill it. Actually, that crit wouldn't even killed, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, you want to catch as much stuff as you can in Nuzlocke. You want to use all of your routes, because no matter what, having a high-level Rattata with you, it's instead of having anything in your spot, is always going to be better. Even like having this thing learn Quick Attack is going to be very helpful if I'm ever in a bind, or if I ever can't get around something, or if I ever even need to like let it die. I'm gonna try to not let that happen in all the power I have, but it might, because it's a Nuzlocke and crits happen and whatnot. Another little extra thing I should talk about is I can use any in-game trade. Now, in-game trades are pretty infrequent in this game. I think there's the Farfetch, the Mr. Mime, a couple other ones. We should name this thing real quick. Meef sounds good. But yeah, in-game trades. I can make any in-game trade I want. The in-game trade does not count as a new encounter for the area. It counts as the old one that the Pokemon I traded for was. So if I can find a Spearow, I can trade it for the Farfetch'd, even though I wouldn't do that because Farfetch is shit. But I can make any in-game trade I want. The Gift or Field Pokemon, however, does count as an encounter. So let's say Snorlax, I think you get it on a route that actually has some grass on it. So if I catch the Snorlax, I can't catch anything else on that route. So I have to make my, I have to strategically plan on which Pokemon I'm going to catch or not. Now, over here to the left is a new route. I believe this is route like 30-something or 22. There is actually an encounter on that route. It can be Spearow, Mankey, Rattata, and maybe Pidgey. Now, we need that Mankey. That's the only Mankey encounter before Brock. However, since I already have a Rattata, if I were able to get a Pidgey on another route ahead, then I can save myself from having to not run into Dupes Clause. So I'm going to try to go for that. Anyway, before that, we have to run into this dude who's going to say some shit, but it doesn't really matter. He's just kind of a tutorial for how to catch Pokemon, even though we already have one, so I don't even know what he's thinking. But yeah, another rule, I don't know if I brought this rule up already, but there's only going to be level limits in this playthrough. The level limit is going to be determined by the next gym leader, their highest leveled Pokemon. So Brock's highest leveled Pokemon is a level 14. So right now, I can only have a level 14 Pokemon. If like my Charmander hits 15, I have to put it into my PC box until the level cap is raised. So it doesn't die or anything, it doesn't like have to get out, it's just going to be put into the PC box until I raise the level cap. So that's going to prevent me from over leveling, which is something that I kind of hate to do in Nuzlocke anyway, because Pokemon games are honestly kind of easy. So that's going to actually add a lot of difficulty to this run, because I'm not going to be able to like evolve my starter before the first gym, or do other stuff like that. Now before I hit up this Route 2 encounter, I'm going to go into the forest, because you can actually catch bug Pokemon on that route, and if I run into a Pokemon in here, then I can use Dupes Clause on that route, and so on and so forth. Right here, there's a hidden antidote, which is pretty cool. But let's just get our free encounter. If we run into a Pikachu, that'd be crazy cool, but it's not going to be very helpful. And no, of course, we run into a Caterpie. So yeah, in the forest, you can run into like Caterpie, Metapod. I think you can run into Weedle and Kakuna, no matter what version you're in. And then also Pikachu as the super rare encounter. Now that damage was pretty bad, but it doesn't really matter because my fire type attacks will be special, so hopefully it just have a bad nature. I honestly forget what Brave does, but it doesn't really matter right now. And there's nothing we can even do about it, so don't want to cry about it. Also, I'm going to be doing grinding off-screen for now. If anyone comments and wants me to leave in grinding or something, or montage it, I might record it and just do that, but I don't want to like waste everyone's time just kind of grinding on wild Pokemon or with the VS Secret, because that can get boring really fast. Anyway, we gotta name this thing. It's a Butterfree. How about like Sticky? No, that's stupid. Sturry. Sure, Sturry. Or Steery, whatever the hell that... however the hell you'd pronounce that. But let's just check their natures real quick. Impish. Okay, Impish I think I know. Impish lowers attack, raises speed, I think. And then Hasty, which I think also raises speed. Oh, and we also got Guts. So that's actually not bad for a Rattata, to be honest. I could definitely be doing worse. If I got Runaway, that'd be terrible, because Runaway doesn't do anything in battles. But yeah, we got our Caterpie, so now we can go back to this last route and try to encounter a Pidgey. Hopefully we don't run into Weedle or anything, because right now we're not looking too good, because all of our Pokemon don't... Oh cool, we got a Pidgey. But all of our Pokemon right now don't hit Brox's Onix for any kind of damage, and he hits two of them for super effective damage, which is not good. But yeah, cool, we got a Pidgey, which also doesn't do anything against Brock. However, it will help us with Dupes Clause for that Mankey, hopefully, because that Mankey would just be awesome to get. And we did catch it, so that's sweet. Because we are basically down to a very close chance of getting a Mankey or a Spearow on that route. If I were to get nothing, that'd be really surprising to me. But let's name it Tilaka. That's cool. Kind of sounds like Native American or whatever. Let's just check its nature real quick just to make sure. We got Docile. I think Docile is a flat nature. I might put these on screen. Maybe. I already have a lot of editing to do, so that might or might not happen. You guys can look it up if you don't know, or if you already know, you can comment about it. Because natures are nothing that you can't really do anything about it in Nuzlocke. You just kind of have to deal with it. And sometimes, like a really cool Pokemon like a Gengar, you'll get an Adamant Gengar, and that's just absolutely terrible. But whatever. I'm also going to pick up some Pokeballs right now and some antidotes, because I only have one more Pokeball, and if I run into any kind of Weedle in the forest, which I know I will because the trainers do pack them in there, I'm going to need to have some way to heal poison, because if a Pokemon faints from poison outside a battle, it is also considered fainted, so it is dead. And that is going to be terrible if that were to happen at the forest. Also, I just realized that I have my text speed on slow. I apologize for that. I will be changing that right after this. Let's just pick up... let's just waste all of our money, because we don't really care. Our Pokemon's lives are more valuable than having, like, another Pokeball. So cool, we have 80 bucks left. 80 Pokebucks, or whatever the hell they're called. And let's change our frame. So text speed to fast, and then we can also change our frame. Let's go with... This one's kind of cool. It's like a checkerboard, and then there's like silver Let's go for this one. It's kind of like a little, yeah, kind of like a little checkerboard type deal. That looks pretty cool. And now is the moment of truth. If we do not get this Mankey, then I'm sorry, but Brock is going to be a bloodbath. There's really not much I can do if I don't get this Mankey, and I'm going to have to sacrifice some Pokemon probably. Unless his AI just goes retarded, which it sometimes does. And it does not even matter because we caught the Mankey anyway, or we have at least found it. Okay, cool, so we really need this. I'm not going to risk going for another scratch because if that crits, I will be very sad. So, I'm going to play it safe. I'm 3 levels higher, and I only think it has low kick, so that doesn't even matter. But we caught it anyway. Oh my god. Okay, so that's really, really, really helpful. That's basically going to get us through Brock with no issues whatsoever. Okay, we can nickname it. Let's nickname it, okay, so it's kind of like Jackie Chan, or like Bruce Lee. Leela. Yeah, Bruce Leela. I think I spelled that wrong, but whatever. I think it'll be Layla. Whatever, I don't even give a shit. Please be like Adamant or something. Come on, give us something cool. Docile. I think it's another flat nature. Prevent sleep, that's good. So yeah, we should have like a little squad going right now. This is pretty cool. I think that's actually our last encounter before Brock, so we've caught everything and we've gotten a Mankey, so things are actually not looking too bad right now. We have quite a bit of encounters before the second gym to make up for our water weakness, but it's not nearly as bad as our rock weakness right now. So things are actually looking up. I'm just gonna heal the squad one more time so that Mankey can get some health, and then we're gonna head back into the forest. I think I might end this when I get to Pewter City, which is where the first gym is, and then I'll probably end it there and then grind, and then on the next episode we'll start off by taking on the gym. But we're gonna have to get through the forest first, so let's go do that real quick. Okay, get through that guy. I'm gonna switch Layla to the front because Layla needs to be higher level. Because right now, I think it only has Scratch or Low Kick or something like that. And I think in the early teens or so, I think it's like 12 or 13, it'll get Karate Chop, which will be pretty damn good to take out those Geodudes with. But yeah. Anyway, so we're in Viridian City. I'm not going to be showing off every fighter or every trainer in here because they're not all required. I'll show off any of the required ones because I have to, but I'll also try to show off any items that I know about, like that Pokeball or that hidden antidote that I showed off earlier. And we found a Weedle. That's pretty cool. So yeah, you can find Weedle in here, but I think it's more common inside the other version to find. I think Leaf Green you can find Weedle easier, and then Fire Red you can find Caterpie easier. Just like I said, we took one step and found another Caterpie. Also, I'll probably be putting on repels for most of like the later game, especially when I have to surf or whatnot. It'll be really boring for you guys to have to see me running into encounters every single second. But I will have to be grinding to keep my levels up. However, of course, I cannot overlevel because of the rule that I have. And once again, if you guys forgot, I have all of the rules in the description below. Just in case you want to look over them. They're going to be in every single episode until this playthrough ends in blood, or if it ends in glory. I have no idea yet. I am pretty versed inside this game. However, some fights you really just can't. There really is no way to prepare for it. One of those fights, probably Sabrina. I'd say Sabrina is probably the hardest fight in this game, just because Psychic was overpowered in the first generation. And then inside the second generation, they introduced 2 types to pretty much counteract it. But in this game, since they kept the Pokédex the same, those Pokemon aren't around. There's no Dark types in this game, and there's only one family of Steel types, which I think is actually the best way to counteract Sabrina, to be honest. But we got poisoned and are scratched into shit, so I'm just gonna switch out to Charmander real quick. Okay, so cool, he went for String Shot, which lowers speed by 1 stage. And we also don't have Ember yet. Ember, it will actually hit Brock's Pokemon for a decent amount because Brock's Pokemon are very defensive based instead of special defensive based. So that wouldn't be terrible if I had to use Charmander. Charmander also, I think at level 13 gets Metal Claw, which can hit Brock's Pokemon for super effective, but it really doesn't do that much. But I think it might actually boost attack by one stage, maybe like 50% of the time, but that's not the greatest. Anyway, we did get Ember, and Ember hits Caterpie, bug types, for super effective damage, so we're just gonna probably take him out in one hit, to be honest. But yeah, if you didn't start with Charmander, you really don't have anything to fear for the first gym, at least the first gym. The second gym is also good if you have Bulbasaur, and then the third gym is even good if you have Venusaur, because he can take those attacks for half the damage. It's kind of funny because Professor Oak, his description of the three Pokemon is that this one's hard, this one's easy, this one's medium. And for a normal playthrough, it really doesn't matter who you pick, to be honest, because you can just heal your Pokemon up and you can just like level them up as high as you want. But in a Nuzlocke, we are restricted to certain rules, which can really hold the playthrough back and make you have to play more strategically and whatnot, which can unfortunately sometimes lead to some unfortunate deaths. Let's see if we can sneak back this guy, and we did. So yeah, in between this episode, I'm going to be coming back here and finishing off all these trainers, and if you're doing a Nuzlocke of any game, I highly recommend that you fight any trainer that you can. And then, well, I guess if you have certain rules on, you might not be able to, but level up your Pokemon as high as you can in any Nuzlocke, because they are kind of precious to you. That's kind of the point of a Nuzlocke, is to get, have some feelings for your Pokemon, like feel really bad when they die. That's kind of why you have to nickname them all, because you want to be like emotionally drained. I think Nuzlocke actually started on, it might have been 4chan or something. It was some kind of like Nuzlocke some kind of Nuzlocke comment that had like permanent death and stuff, and then it's just kind of evolved into a new way to play Pokemon, which is super neat, because as someone who's played through every game dozens of times, it can get kind of boring and kind of simple, but Nuzlocke's really, they kind of excel the experience, to be honest. Anyway, here we go. This is, I think, the only other required fight in the entire forest, and this dude has a single Weedle, and we're just going to kill it real quick. As for Pokemon that are going to be like considered on my team, once I get more than 6, I'll start deciding who's going to be on the team or not, but for right now, I'm just going to consider them all on the team, because we don't even have a team, and we want to keep a full party as high as leveled as possible. So in the little frame bar thing that I have going on, I'm going to be keeping Pokemon in there that we're going to be adding to the team, and Pokemon that we're going to be taking out of the team, and what levels they are, and all that kind of stuff. So you guys can stay informed if you want to jump around in the playthrough. But anyway, we got through Viridian Forest, or whatever that was, and we got back here. Now this is Route 2. Route 2 was before Viridian Forest and after it, so I'm not going to count that as a new encounter. But here we are at Pewter City. Now Pewter City is going to be the first place with the gym. There's the gym over there. So next time, guys, if you want to come back for more Solo Sundays, a week from today, you guys can come back and see me take on Brock. And then we're probably going to be continuing on toward the second gym. Now I'm probably not going to be able to do a gym an episode, because later on in the game it will get a little bit longer. But I think for right now, you can probably expect about a gym an episode up until probably the 4th gym is the first one that I'm not going to be able to get to. But I think that's going to be it for this episode, guys. We introduced ourselves to Solo Sundays, and we got far into our first Nuzlocke. So if you liked what you saw, make sure to look back on Games and You, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.